Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar organized by Universal Society of Food and Nutrition on World Food Day. So before we begin, let me introduce to you about Universal Society of Food and Nutrition, which is one of the world's largest non-profitable professional association meant for research and development in the field of food science and technology. USFN is a paramount body which has brought technical revolution and sustainable development in the field of food science and technology. USFN is a forum where innovations and research interest could be supported and developed, prioritizing our mutual interest. Our forums and associates consist of professional leaders, universities, organizations, and associations connecting each other with a mission to work as wizards of science for defending the earth. We connect, exchange global innovation, and act as a bridge between researchers and academicians by organizing scientific programs and awareness campaigns. And today we are here observing World Food Day. So World Food Day is an international day celebrated every year worldwide on 16th of October to commemorate the date of the founding of United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization in 1945. The day is celebrated widely by many other organizations connected with hunger, food security, including the World Food Programme and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. World Food Day is observed to promote the message that food is essential, fundamental, and basic human right. Every year, World Food Day is celebrated to raise awareness of issues behind poverty, hunger, and ensure the need for food security and sustainability. And this year, USFN, along with our members and recognized speakers, we have come up to spread awareness on this special day. And this year, we'll be discussing on food sustainability, the right way forward. And today we have been joined here by Mrs. Rima Desai, Associate Professor and Registered Dietitian from Indian Dietetic Association and the immediate past President of IDA Gujarat Chapter. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite. It's my honor and privilege to be speaking here today on this very important day in our lives. The way you gave a very brief history. I mean, when you hear that, it touches your heart. It is a very important day in the lives of all health professionals, especially people working in the field of food, nutrition, and dietetics. It is a very important day for India, as we have just heard the news that we have slipped down to the 101st position in the Global Hunger Index 2021. As per the recent report, we are even below our immediate neighbors in the Global Hunger Index. So we need to act, and we need to act now. So this is a very good platform to bring awareness, as you rightly mentioned. And that is why I'm here today to give, as a nutritionist and a dietitian, whatever awareness we can bring and the sensitivity which we can bring amongst our people. So today I would like to thank Universal Society of Foods and Nutrition, BioLeagues United, Innovators, and Technocrat Group for organizing this important webinar on World Food Day and inviting me as a keynote speaker. And I thank Ramya and Jazila, both of you, for wonderfully coordinating this whole thing. So shall we begin?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. You may begin.
Just give me a moment.
Sure, no problem.
Is it visible?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay. Now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So here we are, and today we are going to talk on food sustainability, the right way forward. So on this very important World Food Day, I would like to start this session with a prayer that we really try to delete all the hunger which is there in the world. So the theme this year is our actions are our future, better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life. This is the theme on this World Food Day, 16th October 2021. The food you choose and the way you consume affects our health and the health of our planet. We all need to be a part of this change, and it has an impact on the way the food system, the agri-food system, right? Because it's all from the time the food, the seeds are sown, and to the time that we eat this food, it's all that matters. So sustainable diets are important for both the environment and our own health. So why better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life? These are the four betters which we have to work on. We have to encourage holistic solutions and actions and minimize trade-offs to achieve sustainable development goals. What do you mean by sustainable? Sustainable means which can go for a very long time, which can last a very long time. So better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life, which is going to last for a very, very long time. What do you mean by better production? Better production is ensuring sustainable consumption and production of food that is in the farmland, by the farmers, by the food growers. It is through efficient and inclusive food and agriculture supply chains at local, regional, and global levels, ensuring resilient and sustainable agri-food systems in a changing climate and environment. It's very important to realize that the climate is changing. There is a huge climate change, and there is a huge degradation of the soil, degradation of biodiversity. So here we need to be more efficient so that the production is better, and not only at our level, but at the local, the rural level, the regional level, and the global level. This is a global problem. It's not only a problem of India or anyone or any developing country. There are problems in all these world countries. They may be different, but there are problems. Better nutrition is the next thing which we need to work on. So first of all, the basic thing, end hunger. But here, as I told you in the beginning, that we are slipping down on the position of the World Hunger Index, and we need so that the farmland can cater to a large number of species. Sometimes it happens that people only grow certain species, very minimum species, and then the soil, is not capable of growing anything else. So we need to have a biodiversity here. Better environment. One of the most, pressing issue right now, that combating climate change, reduce, reuse, recycle, and the residual management, whatever remains, whatever waste is there. So you have to combat the climate change through more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable agri-food systems. In terms of food production, agriculture uses almost 50% of the world's vegetated land and generates 25% of the annual global emission. So how do we stop this? How do we see that the food which we grow helps our earth to be more balanced and to be more nutritious? Agriculture uses 70% of the fresh water resources. So we have to find ways where minimum water is used and maximum benefit is got out of, maximum production is got out of this resources. Now, because of all this, we also have extreme weather condition, we have land degradation, we have biodiversity loss, we have so much tree cutting, we have so much deforestation, we are all seeing that there is so much flooding everywhere. The water is not able to go to the ocean. So all these things are going to affect our agriculture. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial and marine ecosystem. So it is not only about the land, it is also about the marine ecosystem. Even the food which we get from the sea, that also, every single day we hear news of, so much plastic coming out of the ocean. So this is where we need to be more careful. Better life. Obviously, if there is better production, there is better nutrition, there is better environment, there is going to be a better life. Yes, Shalini Singh is raising her hand.
Yeah, ma'am, we'll take questions towards the end.
Yes, sure.
Maybe she has a question.
Yeah,
you may continue, ma'am.
Sure, thank you. So, promoting inclusive economic growth. Now, if we do all this, if we do not have inequalities, we are seeing that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. So, having an economic growth which includes the rural population, which includes the poor population, poor countries, men, women, we see a lot of gender inequalities. So if we promote inclusive economic growth by reducing these inequalities, we will definitely have a better life. Food consumption habits are totally unsustainable. That is, many people consume too much or many people consume too less. There are people who are malnourished because they are going hungry, and there are people who are overweight and obese. So we have, two totally unequal distribution of people. On one side, there are hungry people. On one side, there are obese people. According to a study, there are 3 billion people who cannot afford healthy diets, while overweight and obesity continue to increase worldwide. And, we had the worst pandemic in the recent years, and what it, pandemic has taught us anything about our food system, it's that it needs to become more resilient, and we need to combat future crisis. So what happens when the food is grown in the farms? How does it reach your table? So, the journey of the food that you eat is also a very important thing as far as bettering these four betters are concerned. When there is, there is a sustainable food production, then there is sustainable food processing and distribution. How does the food from the farm comes to our homes? There are a lot of steps. Then how do we eat this food, and how do we prevent the food waste, which is again an extremely important. 1/3 of the food in the world today is wasted. So what is this sustainable food system, or what is this agri-food system? So it comprises of all the activities which are related to the production, processing, distribution, sale, preparation, and consumption of food. It covers the journey from the farm to the table, including when it is grown, harvested, processed, packaged, transported, distributed, traded, bought, prepared, eaten, disposed of. Now, we don't realize that when we eat a particular food, we have to think from where it has come. From where it has come, where it has gone, how did it reach my home? So distribution system is a very important system. And this is called food miles. How many miles it takes for the food to come from the farm to our home. That is the food miles. And this food miles have to be minimum. So we have to decrease the food miles. It also encompasses non-food products, that is the forestry, the biofuel, which are used. It also includes the livelihoods and all the people, as well as their activities, their investment, the choices you make in selection of the food. It all plays a part in this food and agriculture production. So what is a sustainable diet? According to the FAO and WHO, a sustainable diet includes whole grains, legumes, nuts, and an abundance and variety of fruits and vegetables. It can include moderate amount of eggs, dairy, poultry, and fish, and small amounts of red meat. Minimizes the use of antibiotics and hormones in food production. We are hearing all sorts of hormones being given to the animals so that they can give more milk, they can have more protein, so that when you eat the red meat, you get more proteins and more fat along with that. Minimize the use of plastics and derivatives of in food packaging, and reduce food loss and waste. So why are sustainable diets important? Food is not being produced or consumed sustainably. We are wasting a lot of food. We are, I'll give you an example that when you are eating a non-vegetarian food, if you're, eating a chicken, you are feeding the chicken so that you get good quality chicken to eat. But studies have shown that to feed a chicken, you need 9 calories. You're giving in 9 kilocalories to the chicken, and in return, that chicken is giving you 1 calorie. So 9 times more you have to feed the animals. World population projected to reach 9.8 billion by 2050, and will need to produce more food than ever before. We need to learn to do it more sustainability. The vast amount of food that is lost or wasted, as I told you, 1/3 of the food is wasted by people even before it is reaching our plate. Also, billions in single-use plastic that is used to package our food. Now, sometimes you think that why should we bother about the plastic? But in the same plastic, we are going to package our food. So that is why it is very, very important. So now, when I talk to you about, that we are feeding the chicken 9 calories and getting back 1 calorie. So do you, think that what I'm trying to say is that do sustainable diets have to be vegetarian or vegan? No, it's not. I'm not saying that we should turn into vegans, but our diets should shift toward flexitarian. This is a new terminology which is used worldwide for sustainable diets. So what is flexitarian? This means eating more plant-based foods with small amount of fish and meat. A diet that is mainly plant-based. And normally what happens when you are a vegetarian or a vegan, you always worry about whether you are getting enough protein or not. But while you can eat some eggs, some meat sustainably, it's important to consider our intake, reduce how much red meat you eat, and see whether you can counteract the impact of your meat consumption through other parts of your diet. So including more plant-based proteins can be one answer. So will a sustainable diet be beneficial to the planet? A big yes. And, it's high time we start putting words into action. We are always talking that we should do this, we should do that. But are we really doing it? So choosing a healthy and sustainable food is one of the single most powerful actions that an individual can take to combat climate change. A Mediterranean diet. I'm sure you have heard about Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet is a diet which is consumed in the Mediterranean region around the Mediterranean Sea. So that is also a very high plant-based diet with a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, and it has very minimum amount of red meat, but a good amount of fish. So a Mediterranean diet could reduce diet-related greenhouse gas emissions by up to 30%. A vegetarian diet could reduce the emissions by about 58%. And switching out meat for plant-based foods could reduce diet-related greenhouse gas emissions by 15%. So all these are done scientifically. This is research which is telling us this. So how do you build a sustainable diet plan? Now, see, this is a very important thing here, that we are always talking, but we don't know how to do it. So as a nutritionist and a registered dietitian, I felt that it is my duty to tell you all that how to build a sustainable diet plan. So first of all, remember what is your food budget and how are you going to spend it? Where do you spend it? What do you buy? How much food do you waste? Is it often the same food type which you are wasting? Is it, always the rice becomes more in your house, or, chapatis become more? Or are you willing to cut down meat from your diet or fish from your diet? Are you willing to cut down dairy from your diet? Now, see, I'm not saying again that you do not eat the dairy, or you do not eat fish or meat. But again, we are talking about flexitarian diet here. So you can reduce the intake of these things because they use up more, the resources from our earth. So that is why we need to reduce their intake. Where can you shop to reduce your food miles? Sometimes what happens? We all, are like when you go to a supermarket, or when you go to the green grocer or the vegetable market, when you go there, you will find that, oh, these apples have come from this country and these cherries have come from that country, and we try to always buy food with that sticker on, because we feel by paying more money and because they are looking very good, you try to buy those things, but you have to remember that it has come from where and when it must have got plucked, how they would have tried to pack it up, cover it with wax so that nothing happens to the apple. So in miles, if you are going to eat these foods, so what can you do to reduce the packaging that you use? Sometimes you feel very awkward carrying a cloth bag and going to the market, but then you always try to bring the food in the plastic. But you can reduce the use of plastic by asking the person to give you in your cloth bag, or reminding people when they are using too much of plastic to package things. You can remind them not to do that and try to buy things which are more local. What new things can you introduce to your diet for variety? Go around your city or your town and try to find out what all variety is locally grown, what is available locally. Another thing, this point, what do you currently buy in small quantities? Now I have seen that in Gujarat, where I live, we buy things in bulk. We buy for the whole year, and we try to preserve nicely, not in a dry area. So can you do that? Can you preserve things? But you cannot do it where there is too much humidity. So for that, you will have to buy things which are locally available, and you need not preserve it for a long time. And how many meals do you rotate? Do you throw away the food? What do you do with the leftovers? Can you reuse or revamp the food? And another thing is, be realistic in your expectations. This means that you must know your budget and you must spend accordingly, and never eat too much of one thing. Always include variety in your diet. So this is a flexitarian plate, or a thali, as you can say. It is designed by the Planetary Health Diet, the EAT NGO, and Lancet studies have done a lot of studies on, Lancet has done a lot of studies on this plate, and they have said that the flexitarian diet should consist of 50% vegetables and fruits, 50% whole grains, plant sources, protein sources with unsaturated plant oils. And if you are a non-vegetarian, then modest amounts of animal sources of protein. So this is basically the flexitarian plate. And always remember that the future is in our hands. Every time you eat, you participate in this agri-food system. The food we choose, the food we produce, prepare, cook, store, it is an integral and active part of the way in which this whole system is working. So a sustainable agri-food system is a one which has a variety of sufficient, nutritious, and safe foods at an affordable price to everyone. Nobody goes hungry or malnourished. Less food is wasted. Food supply chain is more resilient to shocks such as extreme weather, price spikes, or pandemics. In fact, sustainable agri-food systems deliver food security and nutrition for all without compromising the economic, social, and environmental basis for generations to come. So, the sustainable agri-food system leads to better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life for all, which is the theme of this World Food Day. So now, the argument that what about the Indian diets? So it's not only about the Indian diet, but diet all over the world, which are culturally, they were always there. So I would say that the Indian diets were always sustainable and always scientific. So, but over a period of time, so many changes took place, and humans and the environment need to return to our indigenous diet-based choices. What are indigenous? Indigenous means something which is grown in our area, our locality, our farms. So, the millets which are grown in India and the millets which were eaten in India, they are indigenous to India. They are grown only in India. Ragi, jowar, pearl millet, that is bajra. All these things are, grown in India. They were always grown in India. And if you do a survey, you will find out that during different seasons, during different temperatures, different millets were eaten. So we should return to these indigenous diet-based choices. This will empower us to feed more people from a less degraded earth. Such a dietary change should not be only an elite fad or a momentary trend. Right now, you will find a lot of programs on millets. So I'm not trying to join that fad, but I'm trying to say that research has shown, our culture has shown that we are using these millets. In any state of India, if you go, we have a typical millet to our area. So in Gujarat, the Saurashtra region has pearl millet, bajra, whereas the Gujarat side, the eastern side of Gujarat has got more of jowar to its staple diet, that is sorghum. So we must emphasize on local and seasonal foods, diet which is high in vegetables and fruits. People are talking about grapefruit, which is so high in vitamin C, and it is talked about as a superfood. And this grapefruit is indigenous to Karnataka and Andhra and Tamil Nadu. So using grape fruit more is actually, you can increase your vitamin C by having this great vitamin C content fruit. So these fruits and vegetables are very high in antioxidants, and they should be available to all the people on a daily basis. So we need to bring food biodiversity out. Sorry, there was some network issue. Let me try again.
Yes, ma'am, you may continue.
Okay. Yeah. So, we need to bring this food biodiversity, which is there, growing in our forests and our farmlands. We must bring it to our plates and empower our farmers to grow biodiverse foods. It is important to see food through three lenses. What are they? Moderation. Always use food in moderation. Do not overeat. You see how the livelihoods for food growers is affected and what is the benefit of growing that food for the environment. And how can we bring change in all these three things? So we need to bring a change in our consciousness. And for this, we need to tell our media to play a positive and a leading role. Schools can give nutritional education, which can have a huge impact. This is my practical experience that teaching in schools, and I get invited for lectures in these schools, local schools here, and it has a tremendous impact. My talks have a tremendous impact when I go to these schools and when I get a feedback from those young students. So it should be made, nutrition education should be made a compulsory subject in the syllabus. And government should step in as a regulator, and they should tighten rules on the really bad foods. So this is my favorite, again, I'm sorry, okay. So this is my favorite quote by Mahatma Gandhi, that be the change you wish to see in the world. So better not talk, act. So when you shop, ask yourself continuously, where was this food produced? In what condition? Where has this come from? Try to find out the history of that food. How far has this food taken to reach me? How has this food been packaged? Do I eat too much or too little of this food? What are the nutrient contents of this food? How long will this food stay fresh? Can I eat all of this, or it has to be thrown away? How much is edible of this food? Also, we must teach our people, teach our children, teach our citizens to read food labels. So that is a very important thing. So now is the time to make the dietary changes. If we carry on as we are doing, our food consumption patterns by 2050 will exceed the planetary boundary for food-related greenhouse gas emissions by 263%. This means we would need 7 planet Earths to maintain our current dietary habits. Isn't this shocking? So to produce the extra food required for our growing population in a sustainable way, innovations in technology will play a crucial role, like state-of-art technologies across the food chain, including precision farming, food formulation, processing, innovative packaging, solutions, food sensing technologies, personalized nutrition, and 3D printing are just some of these revolutionary technologies. But girls, just remember this with a pinch of salt, that okay, we are talking about advanced technology, but recently you must have heard about the plant-based meats. So you must have heard in the news that there are companies which are making plant-based meats, plant proteins which have got texture like meats, chicken, so they are more chewy, and people feel that they are eating a non-vegetarian item. So it's a very good idea, but just remember, try to find out that how much processing goes into this, how much processing is required to prepare these plant-based meats, how much packaging will be required, how much energy will be used, and what will be the shelf life. Always remember, girls, the more shelf life of a product, it must be more processed. The more ingredients on a food label, it will definitely be ultra processed food. So with the message from Al-But that it is easy to sit up and take notice, what is difficult is getting up and taking action. With this, I end my talk. Thank you so much for a patient listening.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really wonderful, and you have given us a lot of information, and it's really inspiring. And I'm sure the comments that we have received on the chat box also they're all really impressed with the kind of information that you have given us on this important day, that is World Food Day. And it was very interesting to know so much about sustainable diet, and how we can come up. And as you said, it's very right. It's time that we have to put words into action. It's been high time that we have to do that. So it was really amazing, ma'am. And you gave us a lot of information, such as from following the Mediterranean diet to indigenous diet, and bringing about nutrition education to our syllabus, and bringing our upcoming generation with the information about nutritious food, and bringing a better way. So it was really amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you for accepting our invite, and being part of this day, and being part of USFN, and contributing a great speech today. And also tomorrow, October 17th, is World International Day for Eradication of Poverty. So let us all bring about a change on all these days, and commemorate these days in a better way. So thank you so much, ma'am, once again. And thank you to all the listeners for patiently being with us. And once again, thank you to the organizers, that is USFN, Universal Society of Food and Nutrition, and the scientific partner, BioLeagues Worldwide, our research partner, United Innovators, and our supporting partner, Technorate Group, for being with us and observing this day, that is World Food Day. So thank you so much. Ma'am, would you like to take up any questions or any last message that you would like to convey to our listeners?
No, so I think I have repeated the thing that put words into action. Try to do small changes in your diet. Try to go sustainable. Make a diary and write down points, what you are eating, how you are eating, what changes you would like to make. I think if you question yourself, I think you will get a lot of answers.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And
actually, we don't think much. We just go and buy, lot of food.
Yes,
We never
exactly.
think.
Yes, what you said was right. Like we have to look into the food labels and be conscious about what
Yeah,
we are eating. And
yeah.
the amount of food that we are wasting nowadays, it's really high. And as I said, tomorrow, as we are recognizing these days, the day of eradicating poverty, we have to ensure that everybody gets equal right and equal amount of food to eat. And let's all erase the word poverty from our dictionary. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
And
Thank you so much.
yes, thank you so much. And thank you all once again. Have a nice day. Let's all observe this day in a great way. So thank you so much and happy World Food Day. Thank you
Yes,
all.
happy World Food Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.